Right now, hundreds of massive cargo ships are vanishing from global tracking systems on purpose. They have not sunk. They are going dark, slipping past the digital eyes of every navy on Earth. Watch the Persian Gulf. This is what the world sees. Now watch what is really out there. This is not just smuggling. It is a shadow economy, moving trillions of dollars of oil right under the world's nose. And if it seizes up, it could crash the economy we all live in. This is the ghost fleet, and the hidden war being fought over a few narrow miles of ocean. Chapter 1. Going dark. Every big ship carries a beacon. It is called AIS. By law, almost every vessel over 300 tons must broadcast it. Who they are, where they are, second by second. It was built for safety, so ships stop crashing in the dark, and anyone can watch it live, lighting up every ocean on the planet. But the beacon has an off switch. Flip it, and the ship simply disappears. In plain terms, it is like switching off the GPS on your phone. Suddenly, nobody can see where you're going. Some go one step further. They broadcast a fake position entirely. The map says the ship is here. It is really 1,000 miles away. Spy satellites and radar can sometimes catch them. But the ocean is enormous, and the ghosts are many. And the technology to vanish is cheap. A flick of a switch, a fake signal, a new name painted on the hull. One switch, and a ship you could see from space disappears. Chapter 2. The Shadow Fleet. So why hide? The answer is sanctions. Cut a country off from the West, and its oil still has to reach a buyer. In 2022, the G7 tried to strangle Russia's oil money. A price cap, $60 a barrel, no higher. Russia's answer? Build a fleet. It needs nobody's permission to use. Buy up old tankers, fly the flags of tiny nations, insure them with no one you can trace. Most are already past 15 years old, the age when a tanker is usually scrapped for parts. Some are well over 20. Today, one major shipping analysis counts around 940 of these ghosts, close to one in every 6 oil tankers on the planet. By 2024, the Kyiv School of Economics estimated the shadow fleet moved around 70% of Russia's seaborne oil, nearly 90% of its crude, and the West keeps squeezing. In 2025, Europe cut the cap even lower, under $50 a barrel. To scrub away where the oil came from, they meet in the dark and pump it from ship to ship out in open water. In a single recent quarter, trackers logged nearly 800 of these secret transfers, a record. And it is not just Russia, Iran, Venezuela, all of them selling the oil the world said no to buyers who never ask too many questions. And the oil flows east to the refineries of India and China, snapping up crude at a steep discount, no questions asked. A shadow economy. Floating, global, and almost impossible to see. Chapter 3. The Chokepoints. Over 80% of everything the world trades moves by sea, and almost all of it funnels through a few narrow gaps. This is the Strait of Malacca, the world's busiest highway between Malaysia and Indonesia. 23 million barrels of oil a day pass through here, neck and neck with Hormuz for the busiest choke point on Earth. At its tightest, the lane is barely 1.5 miles wide. One ghost ship, one collision here, and global trade grinds to a halt. We have seen it happen. In 2021, one ship turned sideways in the Suez Canal and jammed it shut for 6 days. It held up an estimated $9.6 billion of trade every single day from one accident. To even reach the Suez, ships must thread the Bab el-Mandeb, a gap 10 miles wide right beside Yemen. Since late 2023, missiles and drones from Yemen have hammered these waters. Suez traffic has fallen by more than half, so the ghosts reroute all the way around Africa. Thousands of extra miles and 10 more days at sea just to stay unseen. Even the backups are breaking. A brutal drought recently dropped the Panama Canal so low it cut daily crossings by nearly 1/3. There is another gate the ghosts must slip through. The Bosphorus in Turkey, in places 1/2 mile wide, threading right through a city of 16 million. And guarding the mouth of the Gulf is the Strait of Hormuz, just 21 miles across. 1/5 of the world's oil, 20 million barrels a day, squeezing through that one gap. And a single one of these supertankers can carry 2 million barrels, a floating fortune, and a floating bomb. 3 narrow gaps, 1 mile or 2 wide, and nearly everyone sits right beside a war. Chapter 4. The Hunt. Here's the real prize. Whoever controls the data on these ships controls the trade itself. Because if you cannot see a ship, you cannot tax it, you cannot search it, and you cannot stop it carrying weapons. So the navies move in. The United States runs its 5th fleet out of Bahrain, built around aircraft carriers. In the Red Sea, an American and European coalition now hunts for the dark ships and shoots down the drones aimed at them. India surged its own warships into the Arabian Sea, escorting tankers and chasing off hijackers. At the peak of the crisis, dozens of warships from a dozen nations were crammed into one narrow sea. China guards its own lifeline. Most of its oil runs through Malacca. Its leaders call it the Malacca Dilemma. And China now has the largest navy on Earth by number of ships, built in part to break that grip. In the Baltic, the Shadow Fleet became a weapon. A ghost tanker was accused of dragging its anchor across undersea power and data cables. By late 2025, Western governments had put over 700 tankers on their sanctions lists, more than 1 in 10 ships in the entire tanker fleet. And they began stripping the ghosts of their flags, leaving them stateless and far easier to stop and to seize. Every major navy on Earth is now crowding the same few miles of water. Chapter 5. If the fleet breaks. So what if it breaks? Start with the ships. Old, rusting, uninsured, barely holding together. In 2023, one uninsured ghost tanker, the Pablo, simply exploded at sea and burned. Now picture it in the Baltic, one of the busiest and shallowest seas on Earth. A single dark wreck could foul the shores of a dozen nations. One tanker aground or on fire, in a crowded strait, millions of barrels in the water, and no insurer to ever pay for the cleanup. Then the oil. Close one strait, and prices spike overnight. Some warn Hormuz alone could send oil toward $200 a barrel. That shock would not stay at sea. Every gas pump, every factory, every price tag on Earth. Within days, freight rates would jump, insurance would vanish, and the price of everything on the shelves would climb. A poisoned coastline, a frozen supply chain, a global economy holding its breath. The next world war may not begin with a missile. It may begin with a ship that is not even supposed to exist. A shadow armada, no flag, no insurance, no one truly in control, quietly holding up the world we all live in. It is not strength. It is the whole system balanced on a knife edge, hidden in plain sight. If this changed how you see the map, subscribe, and we will keep pulling on the threads that hold the world together. Thanks for watching.